moving ahead with few sections. So there are various sections on which FLA is divided. First is section 1, which is basic details. Section 2, financial details. Section 3, which is foreign liabilities. Section 4, which is foreign assets. And the last is the variation report. So we'll make you go through each and every section to make you understand that how the section-wise details are to be entered and the broad things which are to be considered while filling this return. First is section 1, that is the basic details of the company. So in this portal, you have to mention few basic details like name of the company, PAN, SIN, details of contact person, including his name, email ID, mobile number, etc. So you remember I informed you about the authorized person details. So previously what used to happen was when we used to enter the authorized person details, that details used to capture in contact person details automatically. But now this is not so. Contact person at the time of first time registration, contact person details come as blank only. You can insert the details of the person and then you can move ahead. Now the contact person and authorized person can be same or different. Next is account closing date. So for example, if your company has account closing date as March, you can enter March or December or
I think looks like a problem with Sneha's net. Chandan, you're there, right?
For 31st March data.
Oh, Sneha, we lost you for a moment. Can you repeat the last 15 seconds?
Okay, so I was discussing about account closing date. So in account closing date, even if the company has different financial year, but still FLA is required to be submitted on the basis of 31st March data only. So for example, if a company has financial year closing as December, they can insert the details as December, but information will go as per March only. So in those company cases, the reason for submitting the revised return on the basis of audited figures does not come into picture only, because the data will always be on the basis of provisionals only. Basically, some figures till 31st March and from January to March, you have to insert details on the basis of provisional data only. Next is nature of business as per NIC code. So the system allows you to select only one NIC code as per the drop-down list available. So even if the company has two activities in which they are dealing, for example, some companies have manufacturing as well as trading both. So in those cases, you have to enter details and you have to select the NIC code for the entity, for the activity in which the company is earning major revenue. So for example, if you're earning 60% from manufacturing and 40% from trading, then go ahead with mentioning details about the manufacturing. So that NIC code will be entered. Next is whether companies merge or amalgamated during the year. For example, if some entities get merged into your entity, then of course, even RBI wants to understand why there's so much variation in the amount mentioned previously and this year. So that is why they asked whether the companies merged or amalgamated. Then whether the company is listed or unlisted, type of company like associates, it is associate, subsidiary, asset management company, whether any foreign technical collaboration. If company has entered into any foreign technical collaboration with a foreign entity, then it is to be mentioned, because then there will be a royalty fees, and technical know-how fees, which will be captured in your financials. There are two things which I want to explain. First is any business activity during the reporting period. So previously what used to happen was, if you enter no here, then the system does not require you to file the sales and purchase details. But now with this new portal, it asks you to insert the sales and purchase details also, even if there is no activity during the reporting period. So maybe you have not earned a revenue, but in the purchases item, you have to insert the expenses, which Chandan will explain you in section 2. So last, but one of the most important point is class of shares and face value. So there are three classes to be defined here: equity, participating preference shares, and non-participating preference shares. So there are two columns. First, you have to mention how many classes and then the face value. So if you have one class, you can simply mention 1 and insert the face value as 10 or 100 as the case may be. But if you have more than one class of shares, maybe 2 or 3, then you have to enter 2 or 3 over there. But the system will not allow you to enter the face value, because FLA portal does not allow you to enter face value as 10, 100, which ROC forms allow us to. So here you have to just mention the class of shares and not the face value. And you can directly mention the value in section 2, where we have to mention the non-resident shareholding in lakhs. So you have to carefully see what is your class of shares and face of value and then enter it. Now I would stop for 5 minutes and ask if any of my panelists have any concern or queries in this, and then we'll move to the other sections.
Yeah, so Sneha, while you're a panelist, as your fellow panelist, I don't have any query. You've beautifully explained, but I think the audience has a lot of queries. I already see 30 plus questions having poured in. Somebody was asking, Parveen was asking about the account closing date. Can you just repeat the account closing date once?
Okay, so account closing date is basically date on which financials are getting closed. So if you have 31st December as account closing date, you can insert 31st December as account closing date. But the data you will fill will be on the basis of 31st March only. It will help RBI to understand that why your data is different, because you will not be able to ever provide them the audited figures. So account closing date is the date on which books of accounts are getting closed, but data will still be required as on 31st March.
Welcome to Complinity Technologies. Complinity is India's leading governance, risk and compliance software helping companies to manage their compliance, contracts, litigation, legal updates, inter-financial controls and more. Complinity is a one-stop shop for all GRC needs. With our proprietary 12 GRC modules and real-time legal updates on 2,000 plus laws and 24,000 plus compliances, all in an integrated platform that is easy to use with automated alerts and risk management capabilities, is why compliance managers, general counsels and chief financial officers choose Complinity every time. Join the most innovative and prestigious brands that use Complinity. Automating your compliance management. Request a demo at complinity.com.